Mr. Chairman. And thanks for holding this hearing today. As you've all heard from everybody talking, what's considered a medical device can be broad and include items ranging from a scalpel to a novel mechanical heart pump first used in my district at the University of Michigan. Innovation in medical devices is essential for our healthcare system's ability and to continue treating patients. Recently, I held a roundtable of researchers at the University of Michigan who receive NIH funding, who are very concerned about what disruptions in funding will mean for research and breakthroughs. They told me that one hiccup or brief pause in funding can push progress back for 40 years. Life-saving clinical trials are on hold. Brain cancer research funding's been cut by 30%, and these are just examples. Without funding, the medical community is unable to prepare the next generation of health professionals. They can't hire or promote staff, and they're looking at more layoffs. As we discuss the importance of medical device research and innovation, we've got to support the great minds and teams who are protecting our devices from the next generation of cyber attacks and vulnerabilities. In addition to next generation of attacks, we all are dismayed at the next generation of firings at the FDA. Trump administration's creating tremendous uncertainty by firing, then rehiring the FDA workforce. As you know, on February 24th, DOJ fired 700 employees and then had to rehire many of them back after realizing that they were important safety experts. And then last week, Secretary Kennedy announced a plan to cut 3,500 employees from the FDA. Firing key drug safety officials in the name of efficiency is short-sighted, and it's not the way our healthcare system should be run, and it risks American safety. Dr. Demup, how is firing FDA safety employees an effective way to spur innovation and protect against cybercrime?
I am uncertain as to the scope of effects that those firings would have, other than to mention what I previously stated, is that it would likely impact the ability for the FDA to quickly and effectively measure and keep medical devices accountability at the point of submission. It's been previously mentioned on the rest of the panel as well that their function in post-market guidance when a device is found to be vulnerable is also not to be overstated. It could potentially impact that as well.
Thank you. We're all worried. Now I want to turn my attention to electronic medical records. Different companies contract with health systems to create a complex web of providers that can transmit health records, hospital records. However, there are concerns that sometimes the systems are blocking the necessary spread of information. This information blocking negatively impacts patient health and the quality of care that patients receive. The efficient exchange of electronic health information is critically important to ensure that patients and providers alike have access to the most up-to-date information when making important healthcare decisions. Unfortunately, according to data reported by the Office of National Coordinator for Health Information Technology, there have been thousands of claims of information blocking that have been submitted since April 2021. My home state of Michigan, there were 14,302 patients impacted in 13 health systems. Dr. Fu, what is being done to address information blocking, and what can Congress do to ensure all organizations play fairly?
So I think electronic health records are a really important topic, and it's one that I've studied in the past. Although different from medical devices and different regulatory authorities, what you're referring to, HIEs or health information exchanges, were a major part of some of the O&C efforts from about 10 years ago. And it has improved health information exchange to some extent. But I, too, even as a patient, have encountered this, where it's been impossible to get records across certain administrative boundaries. I'm not sure what to do about it in that particular space. It's not an area where I'm actively working at the moment. But I know that in the past it was more incentive system based. And then as the meaningful use evolved into more penalties, it was when my knowledge dropped off in that space. So I'm not sure to the full answer to that question.
Well, I'm out of time. I had one more question, but you would agree that we got a problem there and we need to be addressing it.
It's certainly a personal problem to me.
think it goes much broader. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back.
Gentle